I'm a pretty big fan of Tailwind CSS, so let's add this to our project. So let's click the Get Started button, and now we've got a nice set of instructions to follow, so I'm just going to run through these. The first thing we need to do is obviously add Tailwind with either npm or yarn, so let's do that. Now that we've got the package, let's go over to step 2, which is to add all of these Tailwind directives to a CSS file. So I'm going to copy those, and we don't have a CSS file right now, so I'm just going to create a new style sheet in assets, and we can call this main CSS. And of course we can add that to Git. Now I will paste in these directives and we can close the file. The next thing I want to do is move on to step 3, which is to optionally generate a Tailwind config file. I think I'm actually going to do this because I'm probably going to need to overwrite some Tailwind classes in future. So let's run that command. And what that should have done is created a file in our IDE, and there we go, there it appears. So we'll be using this to add our own classes and styling to Tailwind. The next thing we need to do is step 4, which is to process Tailwind with something. So I'm going to be using post CSS because we have a post CSS config file over here. So let's open that up, and you can see that all we need to do here is copy this array syntax, and we can paste that over the object syntax here. And we can actually just get rid of the comments because we're not going to need anything else for our post CSS. And now if we close this file, we can go over to app view, and let's get our project into view here, and we can remove all of the current CSS. And now you'll see everything goes a little bit messed up, but now we can use post CSS to import our CSS file, and that should fix everything up a little bit. Now we can also just declare the language to be post CSS. Now what I'd like to do is actually test that some of my Tailwind classes are working. So we can actually just go into this div here and create a new element, a new div. Let's actually just call this test Tailwind, and we'll give this a class of bg red 500 py3, or even just p3. And we'll also give it a class of text white. And all of these are Tailwind classes that can be found in the documentation. So if I search for background color over here, you can see that we are indeed able to use the background color of red as a class. And that's what created this color here. And before we end off this video, I just want to say thank you for watching. Pause the video now. There's a bunch of things that I'd like you to do, so read the text on screen. I'd like you to join the channel, buy the merch, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.